So here's 8 exercises to build your hamstrings with minimal equipment. So things you can do at home, or again, maybe some tools that's worthwhile getting. So this is Nordic hamstring curl. While I'm doing it on, I would say on this machine, you can easily do this with putting a pad on the barbell and then putting your feet under the barbell, right? So it's something that you can set up at home, interact with weights, but I'm just gonna show it to you on here. So we got a couple of variations here that we can do. One that you've probably seen is that controlled, because it's very, very difficult to do a full rep on this. So I'm gonna control that down and then push back up and try to do that as eccentric, right? So doing that again, control, 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 and back up. But you can also set up where you're pushing using the band, and the band is now going to control you down, right? So now it's going to, and as the band creates more tension, I can lower it, and then I can pull myself back up. I'm keeping my abs braced, and I'm keeping my glutes braced. That second variation is basically the same setup, but it is a hinge. So I'm going to lean forward a little bit as I feel a lot of tension in my hamstrings, and then I'm going to hinge over like RDL and drive back up. The further up I drive, the more tension there is in my hamstrings. So I can create more tension by leaning further forward more and then driving over and coming back up. Again, you can kind of control this, how difficult you make it, by the angles that you take. Then we have stability ball curl variations, which I'm going to show you 4 different ones based on the tools that you have available and kind of how to progress it as well. So this Swiss ball stability ball curl, we can go double leg here, where we're going to lift our hips up, squeeze our butt, abs are going to be braced, and I'm going to drive my hips up as I curl the ball towards me and then control it back down. Right, so the hips have to come up on this. Now I can make it harder. I can go a 2 up, 1 down, 2 up, and then control that eccentric. 2 up, 1 down. Or I can even just go single leg, which becomes the most challenging one. And again, you can progress that over time. It's a little more challenging because of the instability is a TRX hamstring curl, where I'm going to do the same thing, brace abs, drive my elbows into the ground. I'm going to pull in and up and control back down. So I'm driving the heel into that strap. As I come up, and again, a lot of hamstring tension, and you're going to be doing these somewhere in that 10 to 12 rep range. So then we have rollers. These are usually affordable. You can get them from different brands, but you can do a lot of cool stuff with it, because I can start with just a bridge and then controlling that eccentric on the way down. I can also just do a full range of motion. Hips come up as I pull the heels in. I can do a 1 leg eccentric down, 2 up, and also the most challenging, just single leg. Again, key is always controlling the range of motion, but you can progress and regress it and build up. Last but not least, valve slides, or it can be furniture movers. These are, again, the cheapest, the most affordable, but very useful at home, where I can do the same variations, drive up just the eccentric. I can do controlled down and up. I can also do single leg eccentrics and or full range of motion. And you can also take, if you have, I would say, wooden floors, you can take a towel, fold it up, and also get that sliding motion. So just some of the variations that you can use, minimal equipment, for your hamstring curls. So then we have a single leg RDL. And again, this, because of balance, this is a more challenging variation, but a great variation to build a hamstring. So I'm going to drive my heel back, control that, feel that whole foot, drive back through. You got 2 ways. You can either extend this leg, or you can keep it bent and then drive that heel to the ceiling. And so that takes, again, more balance, but it's a great variation. And you can also, if you have a barbell, a landmine attachment is great, but you can also just put it into the corner of a wall. And this is just a bonus. This is the Bruno bar from Black Widow, but you could do it without that. And again, better stability. So now, keeping that knob right over the foot, I can drive that back. So I'm pulling myself down and pushing the ground away. A lot of hammy, a lot of glute on that. Now, minor modification, because I said that if you have, I'll say, some issues with stability, that's okay. We go to a B stance or a staggered stance RDL, where now what I'm going to do is bring that back foot back, and I just call this the octopus leg, right? I'm really not putting a lot of pressure and tension through that, and I'm following that kind of same mentality, push the hip back, RDL, right? And find your stance. So if you're too close, you can go a little bit wider to get more stability. So now 80% at least of that load is going into that front leg. And I would do the same, for instance, in the landmine variation, where here, staggered, right? Same mentality, 80-20. And you can do that with any implement at home, dumbbell, barbell, kettlebell. So this is kind of a banded at home hammy curl machine where we're going to use tension, create more metabolic stress. So I'm going to drive those heels back. And the thing is, you can go two ways, right? I can go nice and controlled, or I can go high rep and really try to punch that heel to the top of the box, right? And I mean the bottom top of the box. And this is going to really light your hammies up. Again, this one is more time and attention, metabolic stress that you can use as well at home. The first exercise we all know, but still a very important one, is the RDO. The big thing here is making sure you stay within your ranges of motion. So I'm going to keep my knees soft, push my hips back, drive my feet into the ground to feel that hamstring tension, keep nice and controlled form, and then push the ground away.